Hey folks, I'm going to experiment with some live coding, looking at how we might use AI agents to generate running training plan, and I wanted to do it in the style of a rapid agent prototype. I was recently inspired by a blog by Jason Liu, who talks about how to use Claude to rapidly generate agents to test and validate whether they are good approaches before you spend lots of time working on the orchestration and that work, which can take a lot of time up front. And so the idea is, how do you quickly validate an idea with an agent and see if it's actually feasible? Once you have done that, then by all means invest in the orchestration side of things. Anyway, the idea is to structure a project like this. So I've gone ahead and created a starting entry point for my project. I'm just going to create a claude.md file, and I'm going to generate a tools directory as well. The other stuff I'll sort of add incrementally, I think. So the idea is that your system prompt goes into your Claude MD file, and basically the approach that I want to work on here is implementing the Jack Daniels VDOT training system. So this is all about using recent running performances to gauge your fitness level, your VO2 max, and then convert that into the paces that you should be running at. So I thought, as a first version of the agent, what would be quite good is if it can look up my recent Strava activities, maybe allow me to choose a recent race, because it's important that it's a max effort that's used to calibrate the VDOT. Let me pick the activity in question and then use that to calibrate and calculate my VDOT, which then influences all the paces of my training runs. So I'm just going to keep that as the starting point, and then I'm sure we'll add more features as we go. So I'm just going to open up the Claude.md, and I quite like the structure that Jason has here. So I can probably go ahead and just remove some parts of this and replace it with, I think we'll leave error recovery for now whilst we're just getting going. And we'll call it VDOT calculator. Maybe we say Jack Daniels VDOT calculator. Given instruction to create a running training plan. Create a VDOT score for the VDOT score in accordance with the Jack Daniels running method. Fetch recent. So this is where I want it to actually use activities to. Maybe we make this. Well, let's leave it as a VDOT calculator, although arguably that's simple enough to just be a tool, but for now we'll just leave it like that. Fetch recent Strava activities using Strava CLI tool. By the way, that Strava CLI tool is what we'll develop next. Locate any activities that are races, that are classified, because you can classify activities in Strava as races. Provide a short list of races. Maybe if there's multiple, if recent 4 weeks, say. If there are multiple, maybe we'll just keep it simple for now. Use the most recent race result to calculate the user's VDOT score. use the v.score to compute all different running paces for different workout types. Minute per mile is the unit for now. Available tools, say Strava CLI, which we'll implement in a moment. I suppose we need to define how do we get this nice arrow? Maybe we'll move into the Strava CLI now because it's not really clear what the arguments are yet. So I'm just going to come out of this, go into tools, and then it looks like tools are simple scripts. So I will likely just create a script, and I think ours is just going to be a Python wrapper. Create and make executable, and then I'm going to actually ask Claude to help with the creation of that. Create me a lightweight CLI that authenticates and returns activities from the Strava API. Returns activities from the last X weeks from the Strava API. Return the results in JSON format. So we're going to create a CLI wrapper around the Strava lib function that authenticates with the Strava API and returns activity data from the last X weeks. Return the result in a JSON format. So it's found my Strava CLI.py, so hopefully it's going to use that. I'll probably need to set up a VM for Python as well, because I haven't actually done that. And I'm assuming that can just live in here. But the nice thing about Bash is that you don't actually need to have like a Python interpreter, and Claude can access it as a CLI automatically. So it might actually be easier just to start with Bash. Sorry, can we do this in Bash, please? Rather than me spend a bunch of time sorting out Python environment and package installation. Although I'm not sure how much more complicated it will be. And likely wrapping around the Strava lib will still require the Python environment, because Strava lib is a Python package. But anyway, let's see. So this is the kind of information we get back. There's a little bit of authentication stuff here, and yeah, excuse me. So that looks pretty similar. Still going to require Python. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this blocks of Python being executed within Bash scripts. I think we'll just go back to... let's continue for now. Let's see what's it... So the Bash script is calling Python. It's authentication. Let me ask Claude what it thinks. The reason I was proposing to use Bash was that this can then become a tool that Claude can utilize natively. But since the Bash script is going to need to call Python anyway Does it make sense? And should we just consider doing the whole thing in Python? I just wanted a way for Claude to natively be able to access the tool. And I know it has a bash executor by default, but Python just has more dependencies. Okay, seems to think the Strava CLI is a good option. And we can always factor out pieces that are in Python externally afterwards. So I think it's going ahead and creating that script. So just make this full screen now. I'm just going to split the window. No, I was in the right directory. So that's created a Strava CLI, and get rid of the Python one for now. Make it executable. Then where do I put Python? I guess for now I can just put it in here. So create a Python environment, activate it, pip install. What were the packages that I need? Well, we definitely need, let's have a look at the tools. Hasn't actually written anything yet. I think we should be able to see Strava lib JSON should already be in it by default. Maybe that's it. Okay, it's writing it now. I've already made it executable, but go on then. No, don't need you to test it, I'll do that. I think I may have did I delete the wrong one earlier? I've forgotten now. Anyway, the Python one's there, but Strava CLI, see if we can get some syntax highlighting with, no, okay. So, pip install Strava lib. UV. Okay. I assume Python 3, which is what the bash script is using, will resolve to, yes, my specific run plan generator. All right, let's try and run it. Options, client ID required, client secret, number of weeks. Okay. I assume this is going to force me to authenticate the first time. JQ needs to be installed. Okay, so I'm just going to navigate to Strava, probably do this on the other window. And grab my creds. Maybe I'll just ask, could we make it so that client ID and client secret are read from environment variables? Yeah, so it gives me the option to set them as environment variables. So for now, I'll just write them out. These are from my API application in Strava. Client secret. Okay. Once updated that, so okay, so it's popped open a new window asking me to authorize, so that's good. And Warning, please set. Okay, so it looks like it tried to do something, but I don't know exactly what, so I'm just going to paste the error in there. Please set client refresh token. Let's ask about this as well. What about this? Okay. So by default, if I don't set any args, it defaults to the last 4 weeks. Okay. So it's suppressing the warnings about that. It's just informational. Okay. So let's try with W2. Well, the warnings are getting somewhat, no, they're not getting suppressed. Just going to see. It's just getting some fields back that don't map, so just correct that up. Okay. Try running it again. Okay, perfect. We have the activities. But I'm just thinking that passing all of this back to the LLM is going to pollute all of the context with all of this crap, which we don't need. Can we add an additional argument to just return the key workout attributes? Maybe minimal. Maybe minimal. I'll let you decide what these are, but you know, it's going to be sport type, speed, pace, heart rate or average heart rate, and really just the key attributes which are related to the workout. Maybe pretty is better. Yeah, maybe minus pretty is better than minimal. So I got that wrong. I'm using, what's it called? Whisperflow to transcribe. I find it a really awesome tool for this. Let's say 1 week. So that's nice. The AI can just use this as a tool, pass this. Should just let it know that I'm still getting these warnings. So it's given me a minimal set and yeah, and then the full set otherwise. By the way, I'm still getting these errors. We can try that with minus minimal, or pretty, wasn't it? It's formatted a bit better now. Oh, okay, so pretty is for the color and minimal is for the actual number of attributes. So if we do them both, okay, nice. So we've got some pace calculations here, which is good. I think round pace calculations to 2 significant figures. Oops, I edited it at the same time. Get out. No. Exit. Okay. In fact, other columns as well, such as distance, should also be rounded to 2 figures. Make minimal just be default. Don't even provide an argument for it. Just always return a subset of fields. We can add more later if we need to. Just want to keep the bash script under control so that it's not super large. So it looks like there's some auto classification of workout type, because sometimes it's null and sometimes it gets set to 0, but I'm pretty sure I'm not setting any of these in the app, so it must be auto classifying these. As you can see, mine are all runs. We should probably also allow an activity filter for type. So it could be run, swim, but yeah, just a minus activity argument. Yeah, so this is actually slimmed down quite a lot, the code, which is what I wanted. Just don't want bloatware everywhere. Okay, so now we've made it minimal by default, so we don't need to provide this argument anymore. And I want to be able to, I'm not sure, why do we have a sport type and a type? Why are there two attributes that seem to report the same information? And what is the root equals at the beginning? I'm trying to work out if that's something what I've added, or I don't think that should be there. So these are just, okay. Yeah, maybe just need to extract the string itself. Okay, sport type. So did it actually implement the ability to select specific sport? No. Can you add the ability to choose a specific sport, for example, run? I'm just wondering, where is this saving the access tokens and refresh tokens? Okay, so it's adding a sport argument. So now I can give it a minus sport. I guess. Maybe let's just give it a fake one, see if it doesn't return anything. Baseball? Well, no, it's returned everything. Okay, sorry, it hadn't actually finished its work yet. Okay, baseball returns none. Run returns none. Do I need to be lowercase? No. Is it because I don't have a root equals? Like this? Nope. Is it because I need to escape the quotes? Yes. So if I put swim in there, will it also match? Yes. Okay, the matching is working, but this root equals is still present and causing problems. Can we get rid of this? It's not exactly, I thought it would just be able to get the actual value. Right, fair enough. Maybe that's fine for now. try just filtering on swim. Okay, sport type looks good. Okay, I think I'm relatively happy with this now, and can go up a level, back to Claude, and say, give it some description of the tool arguments. I'm just going to get AI to do this because it's not always straightforward to remember how to put the syntax in. So I'm just going to come out of Claude, go up one, Claude, modify Claude MD to provide a summary of the Strava CLI tool arguments and return types. Put in parentheses what the tool does in a few number of words. Does it even make sense? In a few words, okay. Whisperflow fixed it for me. So I was doing some research into the Jack Daniels formula, but I actually don't know what is the actual v-dot score and how you actually compute it. That's too long. Quit. It's editing the same thing. That's too long. Make sure it's on one line. Don't need to specify all options, just ones that are sort of important for the agent, which is probably weeks, sport, and that's it. I'm tempted to open up another Claude Code so I can start attacking other parts of the system at the same time, but okay, I think I just need to give it an example. It's probably easiest. I quite like Jason's very succinct structure. That's better, but structured more like this. Very good. Now let's have a quick look. I was doing some analysis on the v-dot training system. What is the, oh sorry, you can't see this. What is the formula for the v-dot calculation? v-dot tables, complex equations, practical tables, right? Looks like we're going to have to use the book to find the tables, and then when you can create a function to compute from the tables, maybe interpolating if needed. Okay. Okay. So execution flow. We should just put a for. If there are no activities with workout type equal to, I think it's race, then ask the user if any of the activities are races. Use the identified race to compute a, well, it seems like we're going to need another tool to compute the v-dot score. So maybe for now, we just keep it simple and just test out what we have. Get rid of this Keep it super simple. Training plan. Start by locating the user's last 4 weeks of Strava activities to locate a race with which to calculate the dot score. So I definitely need some refining on this prompt. It's very verbose right now, but a race with which to calculate the v dot score, fetch loss. Let's just see what it does, shall we? So I've never actually tried this, but apparently I can just run Claude interactively potentially. Can you help me create a running training plan? Let's see what this says. Probably going to completely ignore my tools. Oh, it hasn't. Fetching last 4 weeks of Strava activities. Do I want to proceed? Yes. Command not found. This is interesting because now you can see the error modes and where it's able to find. Okay, it's found and it's figured it out itself, which is very cool. Okay. Now it's asking me, it's found your activities, but I notice that none have a workout type set to race. However, I see one activity that looks like it could be a race. This one is correct. That was yesterday. A little bit short, but anyway, we'll go with that. 16:51. I think that pace might be wrong. I think it's a bit quicker than that. So we might have to look at how that was computed, but I would like to use that. Now, I don't know whether it has enough information in its internals to figure out v dot score, but I think it would make sense to have a specialized tool for this. Of approximately 52, I think I'd want to check that, especially as this is definitely not correct. But overall, very happy with progress, and it's already started to put a plan together, even though I haven't even asked it to. Easy pace 450, 520, pace 420. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And next steps are fix this, make sure the pace is right, figure out how I tell it where the tools are. So if I go in here and say tool status, not sure where you manage tools here. Tool statuses. Okay. Didn't have any tools listed there, but we will continue.